Hello everyone and welcome to my CS24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Curse of Oak Island preview. New theory shows Nolan's cross pointing to the garden shaft. On the Curse of Oak Island this week, the team prepares to open up the garden shaft as a new theory suggests that Nolan's cross has been pointing to the garden shaft all this time. It's pretty much all happening at the garden shaft these days. The water samples buried underground show precious metals are buried in the area, and the team has pinpointed at least a couple of tunnels that appear to be heading in its direction. That's why it was so frustrating when the Dumas mining company was prevented from excavating the shaft. However, thankfully, the permits have been approved and they will recommence work this week. That means that very soon the guys will get the chance to walk around underground in the money pit area. In the meantime, viewers can expect to learn about a theory regarding Nolan's cross and the garden shaft. Nolan's cross is a large stone formation consisting of 6 boulders in the shape of a Christian cross. The boulders are up to 9 feet in height, and the whole structure is hundreds of feet wide and long. There have been a few theories about why the feature exists. Some suspect it simply demarcated a border, while others have speculated that it may be a marker for the Templar Knights. Nolan's cross could point to the garden shaft. On tonight's episode, we shall see another expert theorist in the war room, and he will tell us why he thinks Nolan's cross points to the garden shaft. In a preview, the expert says there are 4 lines measured from Nolan's cross perfectly intersecting at the garden shaft. The expert has a helpful diagram to illustrate his point, but we'll have to wait for tonight's episode to hear the full theory fleshed out. The History Channel episode synopsis confirms the above. Oak Island archaeologists drain the well on Lot 26. Also, on tonight's episode, the archaeologists start draining the water from the mysterious well on Lot 26. This well has caught the guys' attention for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's in an odd place, right by the seashore, and secondly, Rick Lagina said it didn't freeze over during at least one winter, despite all the snow and ice. Thirdly, Ian Spooner said he found evidence of silver in the water, and finally, he reckoned it could be up to 800 years old. The archaeologists, led by Laird Niven, have decided to get to the bottom of this mystery, quite literally. Tonight, they'll be draining the water to find out what's down there, who built it, and why. For more than a decade, The Curse of Oak Island has drawn millions of viewers into the misty woods and mysterious swamps of Nova Scotia's most enigmatic island. Each episode has unraveled another layer of history, theory, and intrigue as Rick and Marty Lagina, along with their dedicated team, chase down the centuries-old legend of buried treasure. And now, a new theory is sending ripples of excitement through the team and fans alike. Nolan's cross, the massive stone formation discovered decades ago, may not just be a marker of religious or spiritual significance. It might, in fact, point directly to the garden shaft. The garden shaft has quickly become one of the most important focal points in recent seasons. Built in the 19th century by earlier treasure hunters, it sits at a tantalizing location in the money pit area. When Dumas Mining sunk the shaft in 1850, they reported unusual flooding and obstructions that mirrored earlier accounts of booby-trapped treasure systems. In more recent episodes, the Lagina's modern exploration has revealed intriguing with samples, signs of tunnels, and metallic anomalies. The shaft itself almost feels like a gateway, a potential back door to the treasure vault. But now, if this new theory holds weight, it could be far more than just a coincidence. Nolan's cross, a geometric arrangement of massive boulders spread across Oak Island, has long puzzled researchers. Some believe it represents a Templar symbol. Others claim it could be a land map encoded in stone. This season, however, one of the team's theorists has put forward a striking possibility. When lines are extended from the arms of the cross, the central axis intersects almost perfectly with the garden shaft. Rick Lagina, always careful with his optimism, reportedly described this new alignment as one of the most compelling connections we've ever seen. He emphasized that Nolan's cross has never been properly understood, despite years of study, and if it really was designed to point to a man-made shaft, it could finally be the smoking gun linking surface markers to underground engineering. Marty, in contrast, has been vocal about maintaining caution. "I've always said we have to balance enthusiasm with evidence," he reminded the team in the preview clip. Yet, even his more skeptical stance couldn't mask the excitement in his eyes as surveyors mapped out the geometry. It was hard to ignore. Massive boulders, placed with precision centuries ago, pointing like an arrow toward the one structure that continues to yield the strongest evidence of a hidden system. The theory has set off a flurry of action. Craig Tester, with his engineering background, immediately began calculations to determine whether the line of sight between Nolan's cross and the garden shaft could be replicated on the ground using 14th and 15th century surveying tools. "It's one thing to draw lines on a map," Craig explained, "but we need to prove this could actually have been constructed with the technology available at the time." Meanwhile, surveyor Steve Guptill dove deep into mapping overlays, combining LiDAR data with drone footage. The results, teased in the upcoming episode, show the alignment between the cross and the garden shaft is not only possible, it's eerily precise. Steve even noted that several other important island features, including a mysterious depression near the swamp, also seem to fall along extended axes of the cross. This development has sparked renewed discussion about the island's possible ties to the Knights Templar. Nolan's cross, with its striking resemblance to a Christian cruciform, has often been theorized as a sacred monument. If it also served a functional purpose, marking the way to hidden treasure tunnels, it could imply that the original builders combined faith and secrecy in one bold act. "It would make sense," Rick suggested in a team meeting. "If this was Templar or even related to some other secretive group, they might have encoded their belief system into their engineering. The cross is both a symbol of devotion and a map to their greatest secret." Of course, Oak Island has taught the team many times before that a promising theory doesn't always pan out. The swamp, the stone roadway, and countless other finds have all pointed toward human activity, but definitive proof of treasure remains elusive. Still, this particular idea has injected new energy into the dig. The garden shaft itself is undergoing significant stabilization as the season unfolds. Heavy timber supports, pumps, and reinforced platforms are being installed to allow safe descent. With the alignment theory now in play, the team is determined to dig deeper than ever.